All right, guys. So your underlying energy, Virgo, for this week is the high priestess. Now you have the Hierophant and the High Priestess in this reading, which is very, very interesting, considering that they are a couple already. Now obviously, right? They both rule the church. And this one, here she relies on her intuition. She's very intuitive. She has a lot of hidden knowledge as well. As you see the scrolls, pillars indicate, university and things like that, just as much as, the Hierophant does indicate university. But I do feel like there is a need to trust your instincts. There could also be a little bit of something hidden right here. Things may not be very clear right now, especially when it comes to communication, but trusting your instincts is a very big one, okay? Underneath this, you have the Ace of Wands, so I feel like trusting your instincts in regards to what, what really brings the spark back into your relationship and your your current situation, and really we're just pretty much listening to your higher self. Now your first card, your current situation, is the Ace of Swords. So this is indicating that right now you may need to utilize the new perspectives that you have, the new ideas that you've obtained. I do think that this beginning is something somewhat clear to you, or you've gotten a lot of clarity in your last situation, so you're ready to start something new with some different mindsets, with a different idea, with a different way of approaching things. Even, honestly, a new way of communicating is one of those things as well. Okay, so with that said, your goal is the Hierophant. So you guys may be wanting to commit to something, or you guys may want a commitment, okay? I really feel like you're wanting to really find a new way of committing to something, or to commit to something that you have going on. Maybe you're dealing with someone that has an age difference, and you want to kind of overcome that and commit to that relationship. The Hierophant is all about commitment, but also it's about routine, gaining a routine, structure as well, okay? I do feel like there is a need for structure here, and I feel like you guys may want that. You may want some sort of some sort of schedule, some routine, something that's, that follows a pattern. For you are Virgo, you rule the 6th house, so this totally makes a lot of sense. As also with this, I do feel like perhaps you guys want to move up in a level of commitment with you and your partner, if you guys already have one. For the Hierophant, I do feel like here, considering that, I feel okay. All right, I get it now. I get it. So the reason why you want the Hierophant is because perhaps you're single right now. The whole thing that's keeping you from commitment is the Fool. The Fool is freedom. The Fool is traveling and going out and exploring things. For some of you guys, this whole thing could be that you haven't started this new beginning. You haven't gone out and traveled, and not necessarily physically traveled, but going out and exploring and, utilizing this new beginning, because you have 2 new beginnings here. And one of these, the major new beginning here, which is the Fool, is what's keeping you from having commitment. Keeping you from committing to something. Perhaps you're enjoying your freedom right now, so you don't really want to, you're not sure if you truly want to commit. But this is your goal, so obviously you do. But it's really interesting. Now, the reason why the Fool is coming up as an obstacle is because of the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is indicating selfishness, ruthlessness, trying to get to a goal by any means necessary, and it can cause a bit of issues, a lot of petty arguments as well. That kind of don't really focus on much on the point, if that makes sense. So with the 5 of Swords, I do feel like maybe that there's some selfishness. There's some really looking out for yourself right now, which is totally fine. I don't honestly have a problem with the 5 of Swords. I do see it can be a little bit ruthless. It can be a little bit harsh, and it can deliver a lot of empty victories. Possibly because you're standing up for yourself, or you're having to stand by your truth. You're doing what you want to do. You're doing what, you're doing what you feel is right for yourself, and that can, that could be hard, and it could cause a lot of, disruption and imbalance. But only because you're standing by your truth, because you believe in what what you're standing for. So I feel like either you had to stand your ground with something, not necessarily like it's defensive energy, but more of like you really, like you had a truth and you were stuck by it. You're focusing on yourself, or somebody was focusing on themselves, which caused you either to be single, or you guys are just, or this whole freedom thing You don't feel free because you're constantly having to consider yourself. You feel like someone's always out to sabotage you. It could be anxiety that I'm seeing here, but and I'm not seeing big signs, not like a huge sign of anxiety. If I saw the Nine of Swords, I would have definitely said y'all having some serious anxiety right now, but I don't think it's like a major case. It's just something that could happen here, okay? And just something I'm picking up. Now, for your advice, you have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is somebody that you probably are dealing with, the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Someone that can be emotionally manipulative sometimes, but I do sense that this person can be very loving. Now, I feel like the advice is about consulting this person about how you feel emotionally, getting some sort of emotional motivation. I do feel like if this is you, which I would be really shocked to believe it is, maybe it's probably about mastering your emotions, pretty much by saying, like, knowing how you feel, understanding why you feel this way, and utilizing that as a way to motivate you to get to where you want to be, which is commitment. And I feel like also perhaps this is about closing up, in not being open. Not communicating how you feel, because you do have the Ace of Swords as your current state of being. You have a new way of communicating or new ideas in regards to love, possibly, because this is what we're talking about here. Hierophant is talking about following your intuition, but things are hidden. I feel like, honestly, communicating how you feel is very important right now. Communicating how you feel and being very open about it. And being open to love in general. The King of Cups, yes, he allows his emotions to flow through him, but he could sometimes it can sometimes get to the point where it's overwhelming for him, and it can really like almost feel like he's drowning in his emotions. And I feel like right here is the advice here is almost indicating or saying not to let that happen per se. Know how you feel, of course, like the King of Cups does, and know why you feel it, but don't let it consume you, and don't feel like you can't open up about how you feel. You don't have to suffer in silence with this, okay? So being open about how you feel is very, very good. Now, in your feelings, you do have the Sun. So this talks about being clarity. This talks about seeing all sides and honestly seeing the path to potential happiness. You have this here in your feelings, which is excellent. And I really feel like this is the opportunity to go ahead and open up and communicate how it is that you feel. Communicate this feeling of having having clarity. And I do feel like this is also, the King of Cups is also indicating you that you feel a lot of love already, possibly. A lot of love for yourself. I think if this isn't you, this is someone else. Someone else is being selfish, and I feel like that's why you have freedom, and you don't know if you're ready to commit, but you want commitment here, possibly. But ultimately, to get what you want, you have to feel good about where you are. You have to feel good about yourself and feel good about your ability to manifest, okay, to get whatever you want. It's about an emotional vibe. If you have a good emotional vibe, something that matches the Sun, you'll be set to go. So I do feel like, with that said, utilizing the Sun is really what's going to help you out. Now, with your hopes and fears, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is talking about taking control of your life. I do feel like there may be somebody that you worry about coming back and controlling everything, kind of keeping you trying to test your beliefs and everything like that. Someone that could be ruthless and trying to get whatever they need, get whatever they want, without really kind of considering anyone else's feelings. So be very careful. So I do feel like also you don't want to lose control of what you've got. I think you've gotten a control of your life finally. Commitment is almost close to compromise. So I do see that right here with the Emperor. Perhaps you want to gain control, you want to have control, you want to maintain control, but you don't want to lose it. I feel like also you don't really want to interact with somebody that could be very stubborn and hard to work with, because with commitment there is, like I said, compromise. There is working together here. So you want somebody that's willing to work with you, okay? Not a lone ranger like the Fool here. You want somebody to work with, and you know what I'm saying? So in your outcome, you have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is somebody that is very similar to the Emperor. The Emperor, it can be very ruthless and very hard to work with, because they're not easy to compromise with. But on top of that, the King of Wands also indicates that this person can be very passionate, very they can really vibe this strong sense of self. meaning that they can manifest whatever they want. They can go after whatever they want. Nothing stops them. They're very confident in themselves. This could also be that you guys may interact or encounter an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in regards to trying to accomplish a goal here with the Hierophant, if that's what you guys are trying to get to. A place of, a place where you guys can feel grounded in what you do day to day. Or you guys are wanting to commit to this King of Wands, or you want a commitment with the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it's going to be a little bit hard, especially if, if freedom is so important to you. Now, if this is the Fool, I feel like maybe taking a risk and going out and getting this commitment is a little hard. I feel like it could be that control is a bit of a problem for you, Virgo. Either you've had a history with somebody that's been super controlling, or you have a control issue. And it could be kind of hard to kind of control your emotions, or, not control your emotions so much, to kind of express that and share that with your couple. Or it could be hard to kind of deal with somebody that has a hard time, talking about how they feel. Okay, Virgo. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, Virgo, this time. There's a lot going on. But I really feel like you have a new beginning here. You want this commitment, but the thing that's standing in your way has a lot to do with freedom. Okay. You guys have truth be told. And this is about communication, being honest with yourself, being honest with your partner. So yeah, I feel like it's about being honest and being open and being willing to, work together. I feel like it's been a solo mission for a while, because you've been making sure that you were getting whatever you needed, or you're making sure you were getting what you needed because the other person wasn't considering you. So now you have this freedom to be able to, to be happy because you are under your own control. It's almost like this goal is wanted, but it's almost kind of not wanted. It feels like it's like you're a little bit hesitant about this here, because you don't want to have another control freak. You don't want to have someone else that has a problem with compromise. You don't want to have another problem with somebody that doesn't really want to work with you. Okay? And I feel like it's hard, especially if you want commitment, but there is somebody here that stands in the way. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull you guys your Romance Angels card here. Otherwise, I feel like it's not too bad of a reading. It's just trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and allowing yourself to be emotionally open. That's the hard part, right? The hard part is being emotionally open. The High Priestess talks about being emotionally open. To start a new passionate beginning. Kindling an old flame, even with an ex, if this is for some of you guys wanting to get back together with somebody. But you know that they have control issues. You know they have a problem with working together. I don't think they have commitment issues. When they commit because they have the Emperor there. But it's just like it's working with them that can cause a lot of struggle. And if they have a hard time communicating with their emotions, that's stressful as well. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So you deserve love. Yes, you are lovable. That is true. You are truly lovable. I don't think you should let this control, this need to control everything, or at least this fear of losing your control, keep you from having another relationship, or going into, another, phase in this connection that you have with this person. This person came up as a soulmate, remember, guys, and then initially you had the Lovers come up first. So then you had the Six of Wands, and the Hermit came up. So when they was, in the very beginning when I was shuffling, so this has a lot to do with the effort that you made in retrospection by finding your inner power, that find the answers that you needed to have in yourself to regain confidence. Perhaps this is another confidence thing here, where maybe you have this new idea of what you want. You have clarity in the situation. You want commitment, but you're not sure if you feel confident in yourself to take that risk to go out there, because you may not have considered yourself in the past, or someone else has been pretty selfish in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to kind of go over, and I'm sorry I can't get too specific because this is a general reading. I'm just just try to give out as many possibilities as possible, so that way it can resonate with a lot of you guys. And with truth be told, this is for everybody. Communicate how you feel, being honest with yourself, and knowing that you deserve love is important, especially if considering that in the past you were kind of you sacrificed a lot of things. You sacrificed your happiness, your truth to get where you wanted to be, and it may not have felt good. You know what I mean? It may not have felt like you were able to be the romantic that you wanted to be. But you have the possibility, you have the potential to do that now. Okay. All right, Virgo. I love you guys, and I hope that your situation becomes a lot more easier to follow, to trust your intuition, and really gets you to where you want to be, which is to feel comfortable and to be in a relationship that really is balanced and really makes you feel grounded.